Alright, today we're going to learn how to paint in abstract style I call Dazzling Drips. So the question of the day is, who designed the Vietnam Memorial? Alright, let's run through the colors. Red oxide, quin orange, quin magenta, burnt sienna, yellow ochre, cad yellow, primary yellow, titanium white, Mars black. Alright, today we're going to make a painting in a style I call Dazzling Drips. Laid in kind of our initial brown layers on the top. We got this yellow, we got a little bit of tan. Tan has kind of disappeared. There's only really the yellow, a little bit of tan out here. So we're going to add in a lot darker colors. So we're going to add a really dark purple. We're going to contrast with kind of a burnt orange at the bottom, and then work in the tans and the yellow since the tans are gone, and then see where it goes from there. We laid in that kind of dark purple at the bottom, a little bit of the tan. We've kind of wiped out a lot of the yellow, so we're going to bring it back in this layer. We're going to do purple at the both ends at this time. We're going to bring in a kind of a red oxide to make it more redder, as well as yellow and a little whiter to bring out the pop in the middle. We added in that really dark layer. We watered it down so it's kind of patchy here, so you want to kind of close it up, get a little darker edge on this as well. We'll bring back in kind of that burnt orange to kind of tone down this iron oxide, and a yellow, and then a very light middle to make that middle pop. So we'll see where it goes from there. So the Vietnam Memorial was a famous architect slash land artist, I guess kind of a landscaping artist you could say. Not landscaping, but land art, as opposed to cutting bushes. And she's from Ohio, and she did a lot of sculptural, obviously land art, and very monumental. It's gotten to several museums, but the Vietnam Memorial is kind of infamous in the sense that it's kind of the first memorial to fallen soldiers that kind of goes slopes underground in a way. It goes down and then it goes back up. And so you have that kind of beginning and feel of the Vietnam War. Started off with a few casualties with the military observers. And then later it grew to a full-fledged war, obviously. And obviously the failure of that war, so there's no height to the thing. It actually goes underground. So it's kind of like this sense of commitment to a cause that just was completely fertile to the soldiers that, you know, committed their lives to, in a sense. It's almost like they died for nothing, because in the end the people that they went to go fight against actually won the war, but they only won the war because the will of the American public per se, not necessarily because they had inferior weapons or inferior valor or even inferior training, but the Vietnamese simply beat them on willpower alone, to be there as long as possible, to win at all costs. And obviously in America, it was like this huge faraway foreign war, completely ridiculous, but none of the military leaders want to admit to it. None of the presidents wanted to back down as a defeat. So it took a long time of many American soldiers to die before we realized it was a hopeless cause. But this monument really captures that with this kind of this sloping, the name's obviously engraved like any war memorial, but sloping down into the ground, and you get the feel of kind of a hopeless cause that Vietnam was, and that's who Mai Lin was. All right, we just finished the painting. Let's take a closer look. So it has this nice dark brown that goes into the reds, and we have that red kind of breaking through those drips, which I kept in this particular version. And you have the orange kind of coming up from the bottom, and obviously from that dark chocolate brown bottom. I like this one in the sense that I added the drips. I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to have a final drip layer versus a non-drip layer, but I think I got it to work so the drips kind of worked really erratically, very fine-tuned. I kind of dropped the paintings to get these really spikes in the drips as well. So I think this is probably one of the better versions of the drips. The white is a little bit too opaque, I think. They've covered a lot of good layering in there, but you know, sometimes you lose stuff when you layer in this style, especially with acrylic. It's a very kind of dense paint, so you need to kind of cut it back, and it's always unsure if you're going to coat it too much. Like with oil, you could have made that really thin, but it would be a nightmare to do this drips over and over again. In oil, you'd be there for like 6 weeks making this painting versus one day, right? So hopefully you guys like it. Give me a thumbs up. If you guys want to subscribe, you can subscribe below. And if you want to see the full version, check my Patreon account, and I'll see you in the next painting video. Thanks for watching, guys.